good. I guess that's all that matters. All right, good morning. My name is Lee Caron. I'm going to be doing some Swiss drumming for you. Like what Bill said, I'm not going to do the American style today, just because time is very limited. Today I am filling in for Mr. George Carroll. Apparently he had a little medical issue, so let's keep him in your thoughts and prayers and hope that he does okay. But from what I've heard, he is doing okay, which is really good. So today, what I'm going to talk about is I think most of you were here last night. I played 2 solos. So what I'm going to do today is I'm kind of elaborate off of those 2 off of Swiss drumming solos, kind of talk about what to listen for. Because I know with a lot of times, especially when I first started hearing this kind of drumming, it just kind of, I don't want to say it all sounded the same, but it was where do my ears want to go to? What do I pick out? So what I'm going to do today is kind of talk about what to listen for, the certain patterns, and the themes that happen within these solos, most of which are going to be by Dr. Fritz Berger, which is, you heard the name prior, which is pretty much the godfather of Swiss strumming. So let's start with, we'll keep it easy. We'll start with a piece called Volisser. It's 18 lines long, but I'm only going to do the first 6 just to save time. This one, it has, the main theme in it is the paradiddle. The patafla-fla. It'll always come back up. Another thing to listen for, especially in almost every single Swiss solos, actually before I go on with that, there are 2 types of Swiss rudimental drumming solos. The first type is what I'm playing, the traditional ones by Berger or other people within a traditional setting, which has just straight rudiments. The other is called a composition, and these pretty much a combined Swiss rudimental drumming with almost modern DCI kind of licks. Not exactly, but it's the closest thing I could equate to it. And it's very different in style. Me personally, I like playing the older solos just because, even professionally, I generally play music by dead people, so I enjoy it. Okay? Sure. We'll do it this way. I'll do the Steve Smith thing. I'll face that way. That way you can all see my funky right hand, which I'm about to talk about. All right. So, Swiss rudimental drumming. First thing, the sticks. They're a little shorter, a little beefier, okay? And just because of the way they're balanced, we kind of hold them further back, all right? The right hand, it's not the general grip we do up here with the fulcrum up front. It's more like what we call the hammer grip. Set right back up in here, and this is just a very old technique of drumming. If you think, first time you ever picked up a drumstick, I don't think you picked it up like this. You probably just grabbed it like a hammer, okay? So just over time, they learn to adapt and do this. All right, so since time's cooking, we'll get into this. So again, I'm going to play a solo called Volisser. You want to listen for the patafla-fla, it's the reoccurring theme, and also all of the traditional solos, the last measure of each line has what they call an end strike or end strike. And these are generally the same for each line, and it kind of ties the whole piece together. In Volisser, it's the final of 7, which is the Swiss version of a lesson 25, okay? I'll just play that last measure for you so you can hear what to listen for. Okay, one more time. So that is final 7, the end strike of Volisser. So this is going to be Volisser. So again, listen for the patafla-fla, the reoccurring themes between each line. And then there's also a dotted 8th note 16th pattern that comes back now and then, which helps tie it together. So, was everyone able to kind of notice the themes and kind of how to follow along with it, with the pad of flaws and then the dotted 8th, 16th, and then all the end strikes? Just kind of helps it tie together. Make sure you're doing good on time. All right. Good. So another solo I'll play. It's called Chalenese. This one, again, has a dotted 8th note, 16th note kind of feel to it. And it's also this one that, especially in the beginning, it gets stretched out more with the double. The double is the inverted flam tap. In Swiss rudimental drumming, this is their version of say, in traditional American rudimental drumming, just the flam. It's like, I would call it like the passing tone of drumming, right? Okay, so that would be the American version. The Swiss version would be, instead of 7-stroke rolls, they use flam 5s. And again, instead of just a straight flam, it's all the doubles. So again, if I played this American style lick, the Swiss version would be. Okay, does that kind of make sense? Yeah, good. All right, and if anyone has any questions at any time, just raise. Oh, go for it.
Try to swing those inverted flam taps? Could you talk a little bit
Right,
about
yeah,
that?
the double, it's not a legit, like, American style inverted flam tap. It has a little swing or lilt to it. I wouldn't want to call it a legit swing because it just kind of grooves. And the way that we phrase it, like here in the States with the inverted flam tap, it's legit that flam tap, flam tap, flam tap. Where the double, it's a right tap, right flam. Which is, I think that's what gives it the inherent nature or natural feeling of that kind of swing or lilt, just because you're leading towards the flam, not flam and then a note. Does that make sense? Yeah. I mean, I could spend a whole dissertation on the double alone. You know, it's a wacky rudiment, and personally, if you ask me, I think it's the hardest Swiss rudiment to get right out of all these other wacky rudiments. Okay, good. So Chalenese. Again, it has a lot of those passing tone figures. The end strike in this one is just a combination of some rolls and taps. I'll do it one more time. Okay, so we want to listen for that. And this one, it kind of has a grooving feel as it goes along. Again, this one, it's a 14-line piece. I'm just going to do the first 8, maybe 9. Which is generally about standard. When you get into the long burger pieces, a lot of them, sometimes they can even go up to 20 some odd lines. Generally, we would only play maybe the first 8 or 9, just to, keep it shorter. And I mean, that's a lot of notes to memorize. All right. So as we go along with Chalenese, we get some more rhythmic figures. Example. The figure you want to listen for in the beginning is this theme with the double and then the dotted 8th, 16th. Okay, kind of plays along with that theme. The next theme would be that and 2 kind of accent pattern. Okay, so this is Chalenese. again, hopefully you're able to hear those reoccurring themes. It's, and sometimes they are kind of hard to notice because they're really intermingled with a lot of the other Swiss rudiments, and if you're not very familiar with all the Swiss rudiments, it is kind of hard to pick out. But it is good, for lack of a better term, ear training. All right, so I'll do one more, then we'll try to take some questions. This one will be pretty easy to follow. It's a famous one. I'm sure if any of you cats have ever listened to any kind of Swiss drumming, I'm sure Mr. Bosworth has heard this plenty of times. It's called a Fisa retraite. It's a drum solo, but it does have a piccolo part to it, which is just it's a sort of retreat. It's a military call. Okay, so the main theme in this is the retreat. So this is the primary theme. And what Berger does is he goes through with about 9 variations of it. And the thing you want to listen for is that accent pattern. Ba, 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 ah, ah. Ba, 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 ba. All right? And you'll hear it come out through all the lines. I guess I could play the whole thing. There's enough time. All right. So generally what happens is every time we would start with the main theme, we'll play the variation, go back to the main theme, variation, and keep on going through the whole piece. Generally, when it's just a drum solo, we would just play the variation or the theme once, and then just run down the variations. So for sake of time, I'm just going to leave out the main theme between every one. All right? But we're going to start with the main theme, and then every variation will happen. Thank you. Thank you. Ironically, as I was playing that, I get a text from Switzerland. They know. All right. Questions? Anyone? Shoot. Anyone? No? Oh, yeah.
Books
Right. There is a book that they put out. I mean, you could only get it in Switzerland. It's an introductory book, although it is. No, it is. It's in French, German, and English, and I think a little bit of Italian too. But it has like kind of cartoons in it. It's mainly a book for kids, but it is pretty good. The English translation, I don't think, as far as a pedagogical standpoint, is really that great. But if you want just music in general, the Berger books, I think the first the three bands. The band 1 and band 2 are the first two books are the actual books by Berger. Then they go up to there's like 9 of them now, which some have the composition solos and just competition solos. But I think band 1, 2, and 3 are the best ones to get. It would be yellow, blue, and pink are the colors. Sometimes you could find them on eBay or something here. If not, let me know. I go there every year, and I generally bring back books for people. So, and then there's also recordings that go along with it, made by a guy, Rolf Schlebach, who has or owned a drum shop in Basel for many years, and it's educational practice recording with piccolos and drum, but it's much slower than what you'd play it, and they pan the tracks with the piccolo on the left and drum on the right, so you can kind of switch off whichever one you want to practice with, and those kind of help too. But I think the only downside with that is it's substantially slower. So if you learn all these marches and then go to Basel to march Fastnacht, you're like, whoa, this is much faster than what I thought it would be. No, it's hard, yeah. Right, and then just because of the copyrights, how they work it, they're a music publishing company and music store in Switzerland, Music Hug. They own the rights to it, and they don't like to export it. So, unfortunately. And you're welcome. Anyone else? Jeff?
The drag rope, you got the leather strap.
Uh-huh.
Is that pretty normal for those drums?
Yes.
Or is that just unique to your drum? And maybe talk a little bit more about the differences in the drum.
Okay. Yeah. Well, first of all, first everyone in this room should definitely go check out Krugman's stuff. They make fantastic products. I would have to say this is the second best in the world. But this is a drum from Switzerland made by Buchler Trommelbau. It is standard construction. This one it's 43 centimeters square, which is about 17 inch. The rope is a Kevlar center hemp wrapped rope. The top head is a head that they make only in Switzerland. It's a Kevlar material from DuPont, which they tuck themselves. Same with the bottom head, but it's plastic, but it's tucked, not glued, so the rigidity is pretty good. Thing that you can tell with the Swiss drums, the leather pulls or the ears, they're just these little leather things that don't have the actual leather portion coming off of, which was why we would call it an ear, because it looks like that. And the strainers, it's different. This particular drum has 3 sets of gut on it. Have the metal wire, twisty, and then actual gut. And theory behind that is for piano, mezzo forte, and forte playing. So the snare response on these are pretty good. Obviously, sounds good live, but I still get snare response, right? Okay. Now Jeff's question was the drag rope. The little decorated rope that hangs at the bottom. Most Swiss drums don't do that. They have the leather straps, and honestly, it's to wear it on your back, like a backpack. That's it. And generally the Swiss take the excess rope and wrap it around the bottom instead of tying into a knot. But this has enough rope at the excess bottom where I could do the knot, but I've got the little leather doohickey, so it works out well. Oh yeah, that's why I have it separated. Yeah. And I saw there was one more hand that was raised that I didn't get to. Oh yeah, what's up? Oh, sorry.
I was here Switzerland talking about it's one thing, like one sound. But under that umbrella of Swiss playing, is there a variety of styles that?
Oh, absolutely. The way I'm playing is more of along the lines of a Basel style, which kind of has a little lilt and swing to it. Legit hardcore Swiss rudimental drumming is you turn the Dr. beat on and it's right with it. Every 16th note. I like that too. I try to cater mine towards competition and Basel playing, just because that's what I like. And a lot of the drummers in the group that I'm a member of in Basel, Sabi, they're competition drummers, and we kind of play that way anyways. Except in Carnival. After about the first day, a couple of years, it kind of gets a little loose, Does that answer your question?
Just to ask, just like, I've heard some of the things that you displayed, were displayed, it's so swung, it's almost, like especially the rudiment, plant task that you guys
Double, yeah.
do with, that they're so swung that it's,
Right,
like
good.
I displayed it more straight.
Yeah, but for time's sake, I'm going to get off stage, but if anyone has any questions, I'll be around all day. Thank you very much. All right, thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Lee.